Want to start now with a Fox News alert. Whole new hour here in America's newsroom. A series of powerful earthquakes sending shockwaves through Japan. Now, initial reporting puts the latest tremor at around 6.1, centered 55 miles east of Tokyo, one of the world's most populated cities. And that same region devastated by a catastrophic earthquake and tsunami about a year ago. It comes just a few hours after a stronger quake hit near the island of Hokkaido. Trace Gallagher is live in L.A. watching this. Trace, what can we determine now from Japan?
If you look at that map you just showed, Bill, the key thing is that 6.9 magnitude quake up in the northern part of the country, because that is the same area that was struck last year during that quake and then followed by that massive tsunami. The quake hit about 4 hours ago, and shortly thereafter they issued a tsunami warning for that region. In fact, many of the small towns that were devastated last year had evacuation orders underway just a few hours ago. Now, we've now learned they have lifted the tsunami, but in fact, there was a small tsunami in that area, and about 3 hours after that, another major earthquake. And keep in mind, these 6.9, 6.1, not the magnitude 9 that struck last year, but they are nonetheless very powerful earthquakes. 6.1 hitting near the capital of Tokyo. It shut down the airport for a short time, rattled a lot of nerves, and now we are hearing that it was actually a shallow earthquake, so they're now kind of going out in the outlying areas checking the damage. But two major earthquakes within just a few hours in Japan. We are kind of checking the damage and checking the reports as they come in, Bill. It might take a little bit of time before we know exactly the full extent of what's happening in the northern part of that country as well as in the capital of Tokyo.
As you well know, living in California with your experience out there, Trace, the depth in the earth determines a lot on the surface.
Right.
Do we have a depth reading? How many miles?
They haven't given us an exact depth reading, except they're saying the 6.1 quake was shallow. And, you know, just to put it in context, Bill, you go back to the San Francisco quake back in 1989, the Northridge quake back in 1994. Those were both about the same size as the first quake that hit in northern Japan. That gives you an idea of how powerful these things are. The 9.1 or 9.0 quake last year was completely off the charts. Still, 350,000 people homeless from that tsunami and quake last year. 5,000 still missing, Bill.
That is remarkable. Trace Gallagher, stay on it, okay? When there are more headlines, we'll bring you back, okay?
Will do.
Trace.